So what's the latest and greatest, chat? Any cool new tech out for Guilty Gear Strive? I've been seeing a lot of different tournament results lately, actually. There have been some very interesting results that have been happening for the tournaments, I gotta say. A lot of characters people been writing off looking kind of strong, if we may say. Very interesting, you know. Obviously, a lot of people have been thinking they knew the game right off the bat, but as all fighting games, we all know, obviously, that when a new fighting game comes out, nothing's gonna be the same. Like, new tech is always found every week. There's always something new for a new character or system mechanics being found as the game develops. I mean, this game hasn't even been out for like almost, has it been a full month? It's been probably about a full month now, right? Yeah, probably about a month. Some characters are obviously noticeably stronger than others, but I think every character in their own right has the ability to win something, right? A lot of characters have been winning tournaments. We look lately. Axel's been winning. There has been obviously Souls and Maze and Ramathal's winning. Milia's won a tournament. Faust won a tournament. Anji's won a tournament. So a lot of characters are winning tournaments, and it just goes to show that we don't really know where this game is going to be going, right? A lot of people got early thoughts about the game. There's nothing wrong with having early thoughts about the game. Don't get me wrong. I always say that tier lists are good for discussions, right? It's good to help people start thinking about the game, and it allows for critical discussions, critical thinking discussions to happen about the games. But there's been some pretty interesting tier lists that came out with some Japanese players. Let's take a look at them real quick, actually. So we got 4 Japanese player tier lists here. We got Koji Kogs, we got Kyame's, Doguras, and Goichi's respectively that we're going to be taking a look at. But this Koji Kog one, very interesting, right? We have Chip up here. You know, a lot of people in the betas wrote off Chip very fast. Like, people did not think this character was good, and not really that much changed. He got a couple of buffs here and there, but there was not too much that changed to make Chip even better. Just obviously people didn't understand the character, understand the game like how we do now and how things actually work. The interactions between DPs and throws work, interactions between throws and buttons work, and like just really utilizing the speed of the character and understanding the system mechanics the way we do now. A lot of people are starting to realize that Chip is actually a really good contender for one of the strong characters in the game right now. So Koji Kog definitely put him up there on the top of his list. S tier above Soul and Mei. Definitely different than a lot of other players' opinions. You know, a lot of people think top 3 right now is typically Soul, Mei, and like Ramathal is typically what a lot of people say right now with as far as stuff, with Soul probably being the upper echelon as far as like the best character in the game right now is what a lot of people think. I guess he don't know too much about the Zato, Leo, and Axel, which is respective, you know. I kind of sort of respect that he actually put down a question mark symbol down there. Just the fact that he doesn't know too much about those characters. Once again, Zato is a character that definitely takes a lot of time to actually utilize, and there's going to be a lot more stuff coming out for him that's going to make him a lot better of a character. Guess he didn't play too much Axel and probably don't know too much about Leo. A lot of people don't feel too highly of Anji either. A lot of people have been sleeping, I feel like, on Nago. Nago is very strong in some senses too. And the fact that when he gets very close, he could definitely just 50-50 you. Like, every touch is almost like a 50-50 with this character. When he uses tools right, it's very scary. He does high damage, and when a person really know how to use him, it could feel almost oppressive, like he's like a wall to get into. And like his 6P is very good too. So he definitely got things. Potemkin's cheap, man. Potemkin's mad cheap. For sure. Potemkin's definitely cheap. I'm actually really surprised that a lot of people are starting to realize that Milia is as good as she is. You know, me being a Milia player, I always felt like Milia was like a contender to definitely be able to compete against the characters in the game. I think she has some matchups that are hard, but I don't never think she has anything that's unwinnable. I really think Milia is pretty strong in this game. It just takes the right player to actually make her viable. You can't get touched, man. She always been a character that couldn't be touched, but in this game specifically, she really can't get touched. So you got to play like this weird keep away game. You don't want your opponents to get close to you and stuff. It's pretty weird, man. But yeah, this is Koji Kog. Let's look at some other ones. So this is Goichi's list. So this one looks a little bit more standard as far as how the top goes, but then we have some very interesting things here too. And I guess yeah, let's talk about this. So right off the bat, Soul at the top, right? Okay, a lot of people think Soul's very good, but once again, we're seeing Chip right up there, man. Chip's very good. And I don't know, maybe it's Sonic Fox results with Leo that's been changing people's minds about Leo. But the fact that Leo is so high on this list, I feel is pretty interesting. The thing that's really interesting about this list, to be honest, though, is how low he actually has Ramathal. I guess Goichi don't really feel too confident about Ramathal's ability. I know some people have been feeling that Ramathal actually been falling off of his character, but I don't think a character like this is really going to fall off. I mean, you're talking about a character with some of the best disjoint buttons in the game. Forward slash, heavy slash, jump H, but very good buttons overall. Very hard to burst combos and high damage at that. Like, yeah, she don't get much as far as meterless knockdowns when it comes to her full screen game, but just the fact that it's hard for you to get in on her makes it very deadly for sure. And once you do get in, she has a really good poke throw game, one of the deadliest, I think, especially when she does the sword throw. in the corner, and you have to guess between what you're going to do. And if she get the combo right, or it hits you right, then the explosion happens and she get to pick up off that. So off the 50-50 too. So it's really ridiculous the type of things this character could get away with in certain senses and stuff like that. But yeah, a lot of people are starting to feel that Leo is pretty strong. I know Sonic Fox definitely think Leo has like the best set play in the game, right? I think the characters are good, man. I think they're pretty good. I think just about everybody in this game has the tools to like definitely become better. And I know a lot of people have been sleeping on Faust too and stuff like that, but obviously, like I said, Faust won tournaments too, and more tech has been coming out with the character, like the new, was it the new Super RC tech? Apparently, when you do Super and you do it before the actual animation plays, you can just RC it, and it only takes like 50% of the meter, which is absolutely crazy that it actually only takes 50% rather than the 100% that you're actually utilizing because of how fast you're actually canceling it. So he pretty much gets like almost like a reversal where you could just run up and do things with the invul frame stuff. So a lot more tech is coming out with that. And then of course there's like the taunt tech. I don't know if that's something Faust can use, but you know, just the fact that there's things being found out every day can really change the way people perceive characters very quickly within this game. Because one right thing be found and is very utilized for one character specifically, and we could change like the whole meta of how people perceive some of these characters, man. This is going to be Dogura's tier list right here. So Dogura, once again, Chip being very high. A lot of people thinking very highly of Chip. I don't know what it is on the Japanese side where people think like Chip is like super good. I think, don't get me wrong, I think Chip is very good too. But you know, the Japanese players really think highly of Chip compared to like some of the tier lists I've been seeing on the America side or whatever. But yeah, we got Soul, we got Chip, Ramathal and May sitting like right up under them. So once again, some people are thinking like they're not like, I guess, the top 3 material. The B tier is just like sort of like a flat line. I'm glad to see that though. It makes it feel like a little bit better. Personally, I think I like it a little bit better when tier lists do this. When players put like, you know, a lot of characters on the same line. He's not trying to say like, he don't think his character is that bad, like a C tier or whatever. You know, he think these characters like on their flat line, like they all pretty much right there. And the tiers are pretty close together, I feel like too. That's why some people like to do like A+ and minus and stuff to show how close they think the tiers are. But yeah, once again, I don't think there's too many bad characters in this game, man. Very interesting to see like the difference in these tier lists and the way these players thought about. Just for a little context for people who don't even know how this happened, apparently they did like some stream together. They did their own thoughts about critically thinking about the game and how they feel about each character and the matchups that they actually have, and then they all made their tier list together, which is pretty cool. That some players got together, they actually discussed the game, thinking about the game critically, and then they actually made their own tier list like together as a sense. I think that's pretty cool. They actually did something like that. And then of course we have Kiame's tier list. This is a little bit different. Kiame is thinking highly of Zato, and I don't know if this is a tier list that's like a little bit different as far as like him thinking about the future of the game, because I don't know if Zato's up there right now, but I think definitely in the future, if we're thinking about like characters that are going to be strong in the future, a lot of people think May is actually going to fall off a bit, which I think is pretty interesting. And then there is Zato, who a lot of people think is definitely going to go up because more tech come out about this character. He's definitely going to get stronger. May is just like one of those characters, you know, we got to figure out and definitely get some game plans around. I honestly think Ramathal is like that too, so I honestly can see Ramathal falling off slightly, but just the way her game plan is and how strong it is, I think is going to be good. People got to figure out how to deal with Dolphin a lot better, man. A lot of people don't know, like, you know, you can contest Dolphin and stuff like that. With Ramathal, you truly got to play her game. You got to play May games a little bit too, but May's kind of be going a little bit wild, and you can actually contest certain things that they be doing. A lot of people just don't know exactly how to contest it that well, I don't think. I think it's very interesting that Kiame actually, you know, have Pot and Axel above like Nago, Anji, Ino, and Faust, or as some people call him Laos right now because he's taking L's. I think the most 2 consensus that I've definitely been seeing as far as a lot of tier lists go, 2 bottom characters are pretty much Anji and Faust, right? But then again, like I said, they won tournaments. I don't know if every single character won tournament. I know Kai's won tournaments. Like I said, Leo, GO won tournaments, May won tournaments. Just about almost every character here won tournaments. I don't think Temkin won a tournament. If he did, let me know. But yeah, a lot of characters have been winning tournaments inside this game. So a lot of people definitely been seeing the actual potential of a lot of these characters that can actually happen. So I think that's a really good thing. But yeah, man, I thought it was pretty interesting that, you know, they got together and actually did this. I just want to talk about these tier lists with you guys. How do you guys feel about them? I think every character is pretty strong, but we need to stop talking about buffing every character to Soul's level. Yeah, I don't know about that one either, man. When people start talking about buffing every character to Soul level, I'm like, what are they talking about, right? Just the fact that people want something like that. The fact that people want characters to be doing the things that Soul doing. Like, I don't want every character in the game to be running up and pressing buttons and just doing like 90%, 80% combos, right? Like, I understand Soul's a cool character. He got some cool tools. A way he could confirm and stuff like that is actually ridiculous too. I don't even know why 6S is a button. That button is absolutely ridiculous. It's really hard to see like how they can actually tone him down with the way they want him to be inside this game. You know, I just finished the story mode yesterday too. And after I finished the story mode, I was kind of like, man, I kind of see why they made Soul like this, man. This may this may be his last rod, huh? But yeah, I definitely think it's interesting to think about as far as like how they should perceive as far as balancing the game and stuff like that when they do actually do balance changes. I just hope that this game doesn't have a balancing issue like Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, where they did balances too much and we didn't have time to enjoy each iteration of the game. Because right now, I think the game actually has a pretty good balance. For first iteration of the game, the balance is actually not that bad. Except, of course, there's a couple of outliers there where some characters feel stronger than others. But for the most part, everybody feels like they could do their own thing. And, you know, we have this sense of expressionness inside this game, which was missing from some other games for a while. And I'm glad that that is in this game and people can actually express themselves and stuff like that. So let's keep this game the way it is for now. But definitely, you know, address some things in a slow manner, not overhaul things. I don't want to see characters get their legs broke or anything like that, but definitely tone some things down if they got to be toned down, and we'll see how it goes from there. But anyway, yeah, I think it's pretty good, man. The best buff they could give the Mei is every voice line being Tosugeki. This is why y'all got to be stopped.